South Park, Colorado is a little mountain town with your usual characters, from the goth kids to the teachers to the cranky old farmers. However, South Park has a few outstanding entities that are unlike anyone else. These monsters range from weaker creatures to all-powerful gods. But which of these monsters are truly the most powerful? I'm Kyle with Wicked Binge, and this is South Park Monsters Weak to Powerful. As usual, we'll be starting with the weakest monsters and working our way up to the strongest creatures at the top of the pyramid. The weakest monster, and possibly the weakest being in South Park, is the Jackophisaur. The Jackophisaur is a stupid, clumsy, and mostly useless creature within the town and surrounding area. Allegedly, the Jackophisaur is a prehistoric creature that the boys found while camping at Stark's Pond. It's loud and annoying to everyone except Cartman and the French, enough to make the town of South Park hate them. They have no special abilities or biology that makes them dangerous in any way. The only danger that they pose is maybe a blown eardrum. An iconic monster from the South Park series, next up is Scuzzlebutt. Scuzzlebutt is a giant Bigfoot-like monster with celery for a hand and Patrick Duffy for a leg. He doesn't really do much and is more like an urban legend in the town of South Park. However, he is shown to be relatively smart and is able to weave a basket and save the kids from the lava. His basket weaving skills are what place him above the Jackophisaur, as he's actually useful, unlike the prehistoric creature just mentioned. The next monsters on our list are small but smart. They are the Underpants Gnomes. These gnomes are small creatures who steal underpants from the residents of South Park at night. They're shown to be smart in business and economics, although they don't know the second step of their plans. They're also important enough to be used by Santa as his holiday helpers instead of elves. So much so that they're able to help locate Jesus and save Santa from Iraq. Despite their lack of knowledge on how to profit from underpants, they are still smart and clever enough to steal those underpants without anyone seeing them except for Tweak. They may not be that dangerous, but they are smart, which makes them powerful. From really small to relatively large, next on our list is the Guinea Creatures. These giant guinea creatures are a multitude of guinea pigs dressed in costumes ranging from bees to pirates. They're highly destructive forces that can destroy most of South Park with their sheer size, and are only subdued by pan flute music. When angered, they kill a frightening amount of people during their rampage. They're defeated by Craig Tucker and his newly found powers. They rank higher than the Underpants Gnomes because of their size and sheer building-destroying power. However, they are still under her control and act mainly on orders and instinct. She may not have the size of the previous entry, but Snooki is slightly higher than them. Snooki is an interesting goblin-like creature that originates from Jersey Shore, a parody of the actress who got famous from the Jersey Shore TV show and is shown to be at least relatively powerful. Her only major feat is still a shocking show of strength. She broke a cigarette machine and punched a hole in a meat locker, which is usually coated in steel. Snooki's pinpoint strength makes her a more pertinent threat than the Guinea Creatures, but only barely. A monstrous entity from another dimension, next up is Spooky Fish. At first, Spooky Fish looks like nothing more than a generic goldfish in a fishbowl, but he was able to kill almost a dozen people by a combination of mauling, drowning, and downright shredding them, and even shredded Kenny into a red mist. Spooky Fish is smart and monstrous, and incredibly dangerous to say the least. Due to the power she holds over a global organization, next is Queen Spider. The Queen Spider is a massive spider-like creature who rules over the Vatican and all of Catholicism. She controls all of the priests and high-ranking members of the Catholic religion. Her large size can also be seen as particularly dangerous if she were to go on a rampage. However, she only gets angry when a rule is at threat of being changed. She's dangerous because she leads a church with hundreds of millions of people in it. But take away the church and she's no longer nearly as powerful. The Canadian Devil, Bezelboot, or the Canadian Minister of Mobile Gaming, is next up. This is the Canadian version of the Devil, which deals with Canadians entering Canadian hell. However, he uses the disguise of the Canadian Minister of Mobile Gaming to trick people into sin. He's responsible for the Terrence and Phillip mobile game that gets Canada plenty of money because of its freemium setup. According to Satan, He has a continued history of making addictive substances with little nuance, showing he is just a knockoff Satan. He can fly and carries around a pitchfork, with his only other notable ability being his ability to fart fireballs. He ranks higher than the Queen Spider because he's in charge of Canada's version of Hell, where we assume Canadians go to after death. Up next is the least monster-like monster on our list, Leslie Myers. Leslie is a living advertisement and is shown to be relatively powerful because of her species. She's shown to be strong enough to break through a ceiling by throwing Jimmy into it. But she's also mentally strong, able to manipulate anyone, mimic people's voices perfectly, and interrupt broadcasts with advertisements. Leslie's wide array of powers makes her much more dangerous. Still, her lack of intense physical strength, or sheer size, means she can't rank any higher on our list. Moving on to our next beast, Veronica the Succubus. She is a succubus, which means she feeds on men's lust to gain power. To do this, she tries to marry Chef. However, when it's found out that she's an actual succubus, it turns out her only weakness is a special tape. She's able to disguise herself as a woman, which means that she can trick people with her body relatively easily. Her power comes from being able to fly, or at least jump very high and very far. She's able to crush Kenny to death just by landing on top of him, and also make Chef act blindly in love. Her physical prowess and demonic heritage would make her a very powerful threat if she had lasted any longer. Next up, we have the massive dragon, Geldin. Geldin would rise when the word of curse is uttered enough times. While he doesn't appear long, he is strong enough to break through a studio roof due to his sheer size and strength, and he's also shown to breathe fire. They may not have the size of Geldin, but the Woodland Critters are next up. The Woodland Critters are a group of cutesy animals that had made a deal with Satan to gain demonic powers. This group of animals has the goal of birthing the Antichrist to cause the rise of Satanism. They have a wide array of demonic powers, including summoning hellfire and demons. They can do a vast variety of dark spells that can harm opponents, such as firing lasers from their eyes or even sacrificing themselves to help other critters. They use their numbers and their religion to deal massive damage throughout their appearance. The next monster on our list is the iconic mascot, Mickey Mouse. Mickey is a large anthropomorphic mouse that is the current head of the Disney Corporation. This gives him access to hundreds of properties and everything Disney owns, even the real-life versions of fictional characters. Mickey is also implied to be of divine origin. One reporter said that he would return to Valhalla after his rampage to feed and rest. He's shown to be able to turn into a giant creature similar to a Thanksgiving parade balloon, allowing him to fly and breathe fire down on the crowd. Afterwards, he uses his huge influence to cater to China and becomes friends with Randy due to his weed. Mickey is mostly powerful due to his influence, but being able to turn into a giant floating, fire-breathing version of yourself is worth mentioning as well. The physical embodiment of the end itself, next up is Death. He's able to kill anyone just by touching them, causing them to keel over and die in a moment. Death can also show the spirits of the deceased to living people. He demonstrated this ability once when he showed Marvin's grandpa to him to say that death isn't all that great. However, he is also easily distracted, as he stops dead in his tracks and watches Terrence and Philip for a while. The leader of the Guinea Creatures, Michael Chertoff, is next. He was the Secretary of Homeland Security under the George Bush administration. He is responsible for the pan flute bands being locked up, leading to the Guinea Creature rampage. Due to him being the leader of the aforementioned Guinea Creatures, he has his own motives, wanting to eliminate Craig as he was their only weakness. He can shift into a giant pirate at will and shift between that form and his human look at any moment. Even after being defeated, he is able to break free from jail and wreak more havoc, supposedly still doing so now. He is durable enough to survive multiple fatal gunshots from multiple angles, and he's only defeated due to Craig's hidden lightning powers. He also has a very sharp prehensile tongue, which he can fire from his mouth and kill people by stabbing them through the brain. He's definitely dangerous for multiple reasons, especially his high position in government. Next up is the son of Satan, Damien. Due to his demonic heritage, he has a variety of powerful abilities that make him a threat. He can turn people into animals, such as when he turns Kenny into a duck-billed platypus. He can shoot Pip into the air and cause a non-lethal explosion. He can also summon whirlwinds, shoot fireballs, and create shadow demons. The giant mechanical monster Mechastreisand is up next. Mechastreisand is the result of celebrity Barbra Streisand merging with the diamond of Pantheos and becoming a giant mechanical monster. As her giant mechanical form, she destroys most of South Park due to her sheer size. She can fire lasers from her face, breathe flames from her mouth, and has a toxic stink ray she can fire from her crotch. She's strong enough to destroy buildings, but she can be pacified through a duet with Neil Diamond. That said, her weakness is easily exploited by the super best friends. Another massive beast on our list with an equally long name. Next we have Dawson's Creek, Trapper Keeper Ultra Keeper Future S2000. The Trapper Keeper is a mechanical form of loose-leaf binder that is able to integrate any peripheral device into itself with ease. This includes anything from mechanical pencil sharpeners to a fax machine. This is helped by its ability to be locked via a fingerprint. The mechanical creature then absorbs Cartman and becomes a biomechanical monster that can destroy anything in its path. It crushes Kenny against the wall moments after fusing with Cartman, kills Rosie O'Donnell, and then absorbs the Cheyenne supercomputer, making it even stronger. The only known weakness that the massive beast has is its center CPU, which is exposed after being disgusted due to the absorption, as mentioned earlier, of Rosie O'Donnell. Thank God for that weakness. That said, the Trapper Keeper is easily outclassed by our next entry, the King of Hell himself, Satan. Satan is a caricature of the Christian version of Lucifer / the King of Hell, and a powerful one at that. Not only does he have an army of demons at his beck and call that are enough to overtake heaven, but he also has a vast array of demonic powers. He's able to possess anyone at will, such as when he did so to Stan to deal with Beelzebut. He can also trick the entirety of South Park with his con artist-like abilities. He can even grant wishes, such as when he did so for Kenny in Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. However, he ranks outside the top 3 for a few reasons. Mainly because he's shown to be submissive in most instances, he's abused by his lover Saddam Hussein in their relationship, and he doesn't fight back easily. He is also canonically weaker than the next entrant on our list, so there's that. And on that note, the bronze medal of power goes to the monstrous Man-Bear Pig. Man-Bear Pig is a giant creature and a cross between a man, a bear, and a pig. He's a metaphor for climate change. When the beast was considered imaginary, he was the most evil imaginary character. He killed Kyle almost immediately after arriving in the real world. When it's confirmed that he's real, he is shown to be smart enough to abduct people rather than just killing at random. He kills dozens of people in his rampage. He only stops once signing a contract that delays his rampage for 5 years, only to come back and fulfill it 1,000-fold. He also canonically beats and kills Satan during their fight, driving the demon's horn into his own chest. Man-Bear Pig is not only real, but very dangerous. The silver medal of power belongs to the Black Goat of the Woods. She is an ancient elder deity who lives under the South Park Police Department. She craves and feeds on quote-unquote dark meat, which is what leads to the over-policing of minorities. However, she becomes weakened upon eating quote-unquote white meat and undeniably angry because of it. She has a powerful tentacle that can kill someone in a single strike, shoot explosive eggs from her mouth, and swallow most entities in one fell swoop. She has many tentacles and mouths that make her eating habits ever clearer due to her Lovecraftian makeup. Her massive size also helps in her ability to kill most entities in mere moments, as she can give and take life with very little effort. Her power stems from her Lovecraftian biology, including her massive mass of teeth and tentacles, though she is still outclassed by one final beast on our list. The most powerful monster on our list, earning the gold medal of power, is Cthulhu. Cthulhu is the most recognized Lovecraftian deity, and this is due to the sheer size of his power. He is responsible for Kenny's immortality due to his immense special powers and his huge cult following. He causes mass destruction and reigns over Earth for 5,000 years, after being on Earth for a day or less. He can send people to the dark dimension, can jump between dimensions, fire lightning from his hands, and summon thunderstorms by his mere presence alone. He only has one known weakness, and that's Cartman's cuteness. Cartman uses this weakness to control the beast. In terms of sheer power, he is leagues above the rest of the list and ahead of his grandmother. With our power spectrum out of the way, just for fun, let's award some medals. The Darwin Medal for the dumbest character in the series goes to the Jackophosors, who need help breeding. which should be a natural process. The Wrath medal goes to Man-Bear Pig, whose rampage kills dozens and is willing to commit 1,000 times more of a massacre. The Gluttony medal goes to Spooky Fish, who kills people mostly to eat them. Slowly stepping in and earning the Sloth medal is Queen Spider, who hates change and only grows active when rules are being changed. The Envy medal goes to Beelzebut, whose plans are really bad, and he is envious of Satan's prowess and power to some degree. The Greed medal goes to Mechastreisand, who is obsessed with grabbing both halves of the powerful diamond. Of course, the Lust medal goes to Veronica, who is a succubus who literally feeds on lust. Finally, the Pride medal goes to Mickey Mouse, who is very fond of his company and the amount of power it gives him. But let us know in the comments section if you agree with our ranking, and tell us what we should cover next. Remember to hit that notification bell and binge our Weak to Powerful playlist, where we break down the most powerful characters in your favorite cartoons, shows, and movies. But most importantly, stay wicked.